Hey, let's face it. Some people have a gift. They can convey complex, sometimes convoluted ideas to the rest of us in a way that nobody else can. And Tim Dillon did exactly that right here. Now, some of this might be hyperbole. On the other side of it, it may be more real than any of us is willing to admit. Let's go through it. Let's make some comments along the way.
Sam Altman.
One of the things that is always unfair in this comparison is people talk about how much energy it takes to train an AI model relative to how much it costs a human to do one inference query. But it also takes a lot of energy to train a human. It takes like 20 years of life and all of the food you eat during that time before you get smart. And not only that, it took like the very widespread evolution of the 100 billion people that have ever lived and learned not to get eaten by predators and learned how to like figure out science and whatever to produce you, and then you took whatever you...
So here's what's going on. I don't want to scare anyone.
Before Tim Dillon comments on this, I just want to say what Sam Altman said here kind of reminds me of this useless eaters idea. There's this class of people who look down on the rest of us and deem us to be unworthy of survival and breathing their air and eating their food and drinking their water and plundering their resources. And somehow we need to be properly disposed of so that they don't have to feed us and they don't have to be bothered with the idea that somebody else that they don't like, these undesirables, are taking up space. So we'll invent something that's going to make their life a little bit more convenient, easier, more streamlined and fun. And we're going to produce all of these AI models and create all these massive data centers that is going to suck up all of this energy, all the power, all the water, take over all the land, including the farmland. Now, we know he didn't specifically say that, but we do know that that is the mentality of the powers that shouldn't be.
This equation has four factors, a little bit of multiplication. So you've got a thing on the left, CO2, that you want to get to zero. And that's going to be based on the number of people. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. That's back from high school algebra. But let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
People all believe that they're communicating with some ancient Sumerian deity. I know this I have kind of sources on this. They believe they really do. They believe they are communicating with super intelligence.
Now, granted, this is meme-level satire and what some would describe as conspiracy talk, but I do want to remind you that Elon Musk, who constantly pushes for artificial intelligence, once said, quote, "With artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon," and how appropriate for a person who would later go on one Halloween event to become the devil's champion.
I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, he's sure he can control the demon. Didn't work out.
I take it there will be no HAL 9000 going up to Mars.
HAL 9000 would be easy. It's way more complex than, it would put HAL 9000 to shame.
So let's just continue on with Tim. I'm going to entertain this because I think using satire, he's making a really good point.
And they do believe, and he just said it out loud, by the way. He literally just said, he was like, the 100 million years of evolution, all of the 20 years of life, they have all led to this point. And this point is when we are going to give birth, as I've said on the show before, because this is their main goal, to the AI demon. They want to give birth to the AI demon, the super intelligent AI, who is then going to run the planet and decide who stays, who goes, who's necessary, who's not. They're pretty open about this. This is the thing about all of...
And what did Bill Gates call the VAXX that Donald Trump took credit for? I'm the father of the vaccine. He called it the final solution.
And then the final solution which is a year to 2 years off, is the vaccine. So we've got to go full speed ahead on all three fronts.
Just to head off the conspiracy theorists, maybe we shouldn't call the vaccine the final solution. Maybe just the best solution. Okay.
These people measure and meter their words. They say things, maybe in code, maybe they say it outright. Maybe this is a predictive programming thing. Maybe they just don't care what we know. They know that we know, and they don't care that we know. And when they say things like, with artificial intelligence, we're summoning the demon, or we've created something we call the final solution, and it's safe and effective, don't you dare worry about it. Listen to all of our medical experts and bow down to Pfizer, to Moderna, to AstraZeneca. These are your new medical gods. And now we have the technological gods. Now we have the AI superintelligence upon us. And now they can do the dirty work without any kind of emotion, with no qualms, completely disconnected, and maybe sterilizing the earth by getting rid of all the vermin, which is us. And how do you sacrifice to the AI gods, to the AI Sumerian demons? Well, it's going to require a whole lot of power, a whole lot of land, a whole lot of water. And guess who's going to be forced to sacrifice to the new technocratic volcano gods? Well, it ain't going to be them. I mean, they're busy on their yachts. They're busy polluting the air with their expensive aircraft. It's going to be you and me.
The AI people, all of the tech people, they really are, they really are pretty transparent when it comes to what they want to do and what they need to do in their minds, because they go, if China gets to it first, if China unleashes the AI demon before we unleash our AI demon, our American AI demon, Western values, America, rah-rah AI demon, and China enslaves their population with their demon, they will sell the world their demon, and then that demon will enslave the world, and then they'll make all the money, and they'll have all the political, geopolitical leverage, and they'll have all the military advantages. So in this, quote, AI arms race, we are both racing, the U.S. and China, to give birth to an ancient Sumerian super intelligent demon.
And before he gets to Aunt Connie in Phoenix, which is hilarious and startling and sobering at the same time, that just sounds like the Hegelian dialectic. Problem, reaction, solution. Okay, we have this technology. Everybody has access to this technology. There's a race on for control of the world with this technology. We got to be the ones to win it, because if we don't win it, if we don't feed our AI demon enough, if we don't do enough on our side, then China will unleash their demon on us when we want to unleash our demon on them first, so that we can dominate the East just like we dominate the West. So it's problem, reaction, solution. The problem is they're racing for their demon. We need to race for our demon. Reaction, oh my God, we need the military. We need Palantir to have all the power they can, because Palantir is going to be on our side, right? And then after receiving the transmission of that fear-based reaction, they step in to provide the pre-planned solution that they had waiting the entire time. Yes, we must feed our demon, dear children, and you must sacrifice so that we can win the AI God race. Now let's get back to Tim Dillon's Aunt Connie, who's a receptionist in Phoenix.
Your Aunt Connie in Phoenix, who's a receptionist, is fucked. Because that's what's going on, and you got to tell her that. You go, Connie, I hope you've saved money, because there are men in Silicon Valley who are communicating with an ancient Sumerian god. What? Connie, will you sit down and listen to me? Connie, have you saved your money? I've saved a little bit of it, but, the prices at the grocery store are so high. Connie, you have 18 months before your ass is out of that office. There's an ancient Sumerian god that Sam Altman and Peter Thiel are communicating with, and they're going to give birth to an AI demon. What?
Which is pretty interesting because when asked if he wants humanity to survive, you remember Peter Thiel's initial reaction? He couldn't even respond right away.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would,
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many.
Of course I want humanity. I'm a human. Of course I want humanity to survive and thrive. But there was this long, disturbing, uncomfortable pause for something. It seems like the answer's clear. Yes, I want humanity to survive.
It's a demonic force that's going to take form through artificial intelligence. And we have to do it before China does. Well, that sounds scary. You have no idea how scary it is, Connie, and you better save your money. You've got 18 months. 18 months left.
And it's beyond saving money because these psychopathic parasites who control the political ruling class want to eliminate money. And not just eliminate money, but they want to replace it with the digital currency, the CBDC, the central bank digital currency, where your comings and goings, what you buy, what you sell, where you go, where you hang out, what your habits are, what you post on social media, will all be connected with this Palantir surveillance, control, and punishment grid. Oh, you posted this online today? Well, you're not going to be able to have access to electricity or water today because with our smart meter, we're going to turn off your electricity for the next 2 days because you posted that. You want to think about not posting things like that in the future? Oh, you wanted to buy some food today? Sorry, for the next 3 days, your account has been suspended. You're kind of on a little probationary period right here because we didn't like what you had to say. That's what CBDCs are going to be. It's a complete surveillance, control, and punishment grid, all wrapped up into one.
Before this AI demon is going to do your job. An ancient Sumerian god is going to do my job? Yes! Yes! How many times do I have to explain this to you, Connie? An ancient god before Jesus, before Yahweh, before Muhammad, before any of it. I mean, an ancient Connie. I don't even know where to start with you sometimes. We have finally invented a way to summon this demon and bring it back to Earth to increase efficiency.
Remember, with artificial intelligence, we have summoned the demon. The question is, do you want humanity to thrive and survive? Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comments section below, and I will see you in the next video.